Zurdo Ramirez ducks Jai Opetaia again. Now this is an absolute disgrace. This is unacceptable. Before I go on a rant, I want you to have a look at this clip and I'll break this down further.
I got some news for you guys. May 2nd, me versus Zurdo Ramirez. I'm going up to cruiserweight to challenge for his title, so I'm excited for that.
Well, there you go. There's your answer right there. May 5th, you're celebrating La Batalla de Puebla, celebrating against another Mexican. How do you see that happening, obviously, and where?
I think it might be in Las Vegas.
So let me get this straight. Let me get my head around this, because this is unbelievable, right? David Benavidez, who just had his second fight in the lightweight division, is moving up to cruiserweight division to fight Zurdo Ramirez, who, by the way, is been waiting to have the fight against Jai Opetaia. This is the fight that needs to happen in the cruiserweight division. He's opting to ignore, to duck Jai Opetaia to fight Benavidez. For what? I get it. I understand it. It's two Mexicans going head to head in the US. It's a big fight. It's going to make a lot of money. One is a Mexican American in David Benavidez, and one is a Mexican who was born in Mexico in Zurdo Ramirez. Both of them coming together in LA or wherever it is in the US. This is a big fight, and I understand the idea behind making this fight because both fighters are going to make a lot of money. But what are we doing? What has boxing become? The cruiserweight division needs a unification fight. The cruiserweight division needs an undisputed champion. We need to see that. This is the only way boxing advances further. This is the only way the sport grows. The money fights are great, and it is great to have the money fights. But boxing grows when we have unification fights, when champions fight each other, so that other fighters that are waiting in line can also get their shot. But Zurdo Ramirez is opting to fight Benavidez, and then the belts are not going to be unified. Benavidez is also meant to, fight in the lightweight division. There's so many fighters that he can take. Why is he moving up to disrupt the whole movement in the division? Because Artur Beterbiev is there, Dimitri Bivol is there. Benavidez should be wanting to fight one of these guys. And Zurdo Ramirez should be fighting Jai Opetaia. Because that is the only fight that makes sense. That is the only way that the cruiserweight division keeps thriving. I mean, we can talk about Badou Jack, but he's nowhere to be found. He is not saying anything, right? He holds the WBC belt, and eventually Jai is going to collect that belt as well. But Zurdo Ramirez versus Jai Opetaia is a fight that Turki Al-Sheikh should be willing to make and should be interested in making. Jai Opetaia has said it many times in so many interviews. He said that I want to become cruiserweight undisputed champion. He said he wants to unify the division before moving up to heavyweight. And it is clear as day that Zurdo Ramirez does not want to fight Jai Opetaia. And even if he wants to fight Jai Opetaia, it is clear that he wants to cash out. Because he holds the belts right now, he wants to cash out before risking it against Jai. Because we all know Jai Opetaia gets busy. We all know, I think he's one of the best fighters in boxing at the moment. Strong, powerful, vicious, great jab. He's a southpaw. He's a nightmare, right? Jai Opetaia is a nightmare for anyone and everyone on any day. And Zurdo Ramirez and Oscar De La Hoya, they know. And they're trying to duck Jai Opetaia. They're trying their best to take other fights and make money before they get in there with Jai and they lose it all. And Oscar De La Hoya can sit there and make a whole bunch of videos about other things. When it's time to step in a ring and challenge the best in the division, they're running scared. They're running away. And boxing keeps letting itself down. Us as boxing fans, myself as a boxing fan that pays to watch fights, that is invested, to analyze fights, that study fights, this is unacceptable, right? You want to see the sport grow. You want to see the sport become what it was in the 70s and 80s during the Ali era and during the Mike Tyson era. Boxing could be there again. Turki Al-Sheikh is putting on good fights, and we're getting a lot of good fights. Recently, we've been getting some really good fights, but that cannot stop. The cruiserweight division over the years have brought up to the heavyweight division some really great champions, right? We've seen Usyk done the same thing. We've seen Evander Holyfield, a historic fighter, moving up from cruiserweight to heavyweight division to dominate and become a legend of the sport. Usyk has done it, as I've mentioned, and I think Jai Opetaia has the potential to do it. But what we need to see is a crowned champion in the cruiserweight division. It's a crowned, undisputed champion in the cruiserweight division. And then they can move forward. And then other fighters in the light heavyweight division can also move up. This is what we need to see in boxing. David Benavidez moving all the way 2-3 weight classes to fight Zurdo Ramirez. It's all good. Nobody's against those sort of fights because they're exciting fights. Benavidez just absolutely destroyed Anthony Yard in a fight where I picked him to win, by the way. And although Anthony Yard is the bona fide light heavyweight, he got out-muscled, he got out-punched, he got out-thought, and he got outclassed by the better David Benavidez. So it is not inconceivable that David Benavidez can move up to cruiserweight and beat Zurdo Ramirez. I think he has a big chance of beating him. But that is not the case. That is not the point here. The point is, Jai Opetaia has been waiting to unify the division. The point here is that Jai Opetaia wants to do the right thing by boxing. And Zurdo Ramirez and Oscar De La Hoya and these guys, they are ducking. They are running away. And it's an absolute disgrace. It is literally unacceptable. This is what boxing has become. Like, it is blatant. Normally people would duck and use ways to duck. This is blatant. This is as clear as day that Zurdo Ramirez and Oscar De La Hoya do not want to take the Jai Opetaia fight. Look, I feel bad for Jai Opetaia because I feel like he's done things the way a champion should do. I feel like he's behaved like a champion, and I give him credit for that. Right? As a boxing fan, I sit there and I go, he is a real champion. I give him credit for the way he's behaved, the way he's been patient and wanting his opportunity. I mean, Jai has been fighting fighters that he will blow out in 1 or 2 rounds. Like, for example, he fought Claudio Squello and he broke his jaw or his orbital bone or something. It's a mismatch. It's not, Jai is just beating guys that he beats easily because the competition is not there. And the only fighter that would give Jai a big competition or something to think about is Zurdo Ramirez. And maybe Badu Jack, if he comes to the table and wants to make the division more exciting. It seems that everybody is trying to duck Jai Opetaia because they know the implications of stepping in the ring with him. And now the questions about whether Jai is wasting his time in the cruiserweight division has become very clear. And I admire Jai's ambition for wanting to become a cruiserweight undisputed champion. The easiest thing is for him to move up to heavyweight, right? But he's got that ambition, he's got that drive to unify the division before moving up. And unfortunately, the chances are not there. These guys are running scared. These guys don't want to do it. And it's just unacceptable. I cannot agree with this whole thing about, Benavidez fighting Zurdo Ramirez. Yes, 2 Mexicans is a big fight. They're going to make a lot of money. But they're ducking the man of the division, which is Jai Opetaia. So look, I'm interested to know what you guys think about this because I think I've talked about this enough. I've made a number of videos about the fact that Zurdo Ramirez does not want to fight Jai. But what do you guys think? How do you see this? How do you sort of process this? Get in the comment section and let me know.